Okay, we're recording. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy payday. Happy auto bonus day. It is the 10th of August already, and this year is flying. And we've got so much work to do to set ourselves up for our biggest months in the business, January through May. And it starts now. And I think that a lot of y'all have your kids back in school. Mine started last week. So it's time to get our head out of the clouds and in the game again. And I'm excited because every Tuesday we have this Zoom. So if you're new, welcome and thanks for joining us. You can save this link and tune in every single Tuesday at noon Eastern. And we have a different leader on that we interview. And it's become a lot of people's fave Zoom, including mine. And it's gotten I mean, I've been doing it now for like almost 4 years. So I've opened it up now. We're actually expanding into 80K interviews too, which I'm super excited about because we have so many amazing 80Ks in this company with crazy stories. And the beauty of this Zoom every week, I think, is like we get to hear from people and hear their stories that we might have never heard. Because the awesome part about Lavelle is we have so many 80Ks and 200Ks because our comp plan rocks. And today I am so excited to interview a sideline sister in the company. Rochelle, are you on?
Yes, I am, Lisa.
Ah, you look so cute.
Thank you.
It's 9 a.m. for you. Why do you look cute? I look horrible. That's why my camera is not on. So everybody, Rochelle, she is an 80K with the company. I am super excited for her to share her story today and tips and all of the goodness. So I want to jump right in because this hour goes so fast. Like it goes so fast. I feel like it starts and I'm like, I got more questions. So I want to jump right in. And I want to start with like the beginning, kind of give us an idea of what you were doing before you came into the industry of network marketing, and give us a little background and if you did any kind of network marketing before Lavelle, and then how you found Lavelle, and then we'll kind of go from that point.
Awesome. Well, thanks again so much for having me. Like, it's so funny following Sam from last week. She's amazing. Definitely love her here. And, just always being a viewer of the Zooms, because this is one of my favorite Zooms. And then for you inviting me. So thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity, because I 100% believe in every Thrive experience. It's meant for, to be heard by somebody else. So everybody that doesn't know me, hi, I'm Rochelle. I'm out of Arizona and Vegas, kind of live in both two states. Long story, don't ask. But, I have been thriving now for 6.5 years. And prior to Lavelle and the Thrive experience, honestly, like I was going nowhere. My daughter was 2 years old back then. I was in a very unsafe environment, abusive marriage, which part of my story of that, like I never shared like for years. And just this year I committed to 100%, being vulnerable about my story, because I realized that part can reach other people too. But I had no ambition. I had nothing going for me. I mean, I was every day, like I was the mom that walked to the coffee pot just to be the couch mom, and getting out of my pajamas was a good day. And I was 26 with a 2-year-old living in like a 700 square foot condo, not doing anything, not going anywhere. And it was a really dark place in my life. I had no network marketing experience. I mean, I barely had 200 friends on Facebook. Like, it wasn't like I was that person that joined and then like had all these people. And because you hear those stories all the time, like, well, I can't do it because I don't have a lot of people in my network. I'm like, well, hello, like that's how I started. I had nobody either and still was able to achieve those things. So it's just an excuse, and we tend to, for me personally, was always putting roadblocks, in front of myself. So, but, before this, I actually didn't even know anything about Thrive or Lavelle. A really good friend of mine, Carrie, we had been known each other since middle school, and she had just called me up one random day in December 2014. And I could hear in her voice, like she had, you know, that extra like pep in her step. And here I am like depressed and just, you know, barely making it through my day. So when she shared this with me, she honestly, all she told me was, you know, you need to try this. It's just going to make you feel better. And nobody knew like what I was going through on the day to day, not even like my family. So I'm like, try not to cry. Sorry, guys. So Thrive really was the answer to my prayers, because I needed something to get me out of the situation that I was in. And it makes me laugh now because I probably was like the easiest customer ever, right? Like, you know, when you call someone and you want them to sign up and you're excited for them and they like create their account and place their order, like I was that person. So for me, it was just like, what do I need to do this? Because I really, like, I had been praying for stuff. Nobody knew. Like on Facebook, I looked super happy, you know. So you don't ever judge people like by what they're posting, because you never know like behind closed doors what's going on. And so honestly, Lisa, like I just was a customer. Like I had no interest in the business ever. But I was always someone that liked to make money. Like before my daughter was born, my background was aesthetics and makeup. I had worked for another medical provider, then I would go to the spa after that and work another, you know, full shift. So I was always constantly like wanting to earn my money. But once we decided for me to stay home and take care of her, that was really hard because it's a job, you know, to take care of our kids. But I mean, I had no money to myself. And so by like day one, you know, I was ready to quit my caffeine habit. So it was really easy for me to give that up. And I had a definite energy boost like day one. But I really thought it was more in my head. So I waited till like day 3, day 4. I noticed I was sleeping better, which I didn't even know I slept bad until I slept good. And I was actually excited to wake up for the day and like do something, you know, because before I was just so blah. And it was by day 5 that I had, or from day 1, shared my journey on social media. I 100% believe in that. And by day 5, I had 4 people ready to thrive with me. And I remember my friend Carrie saying I could thrive for free. That was all I really cared about, because I knew when I ordered my product, that was going to be an argument that I was going to have to face with the other party involved. And, but I didn't care. I needed something for me. And it was by far the best decision I ever made, was to put myself first. And I know a lot of moms, a lot of people have a hard time doing that, because we're just meant to be put on the back burner because everybody else comes first. But all in all, I was a not present mom. And I'm thankful that she doesn't remember. She doesn't remember that part of me. She's had 6.5 years of a thriving mom. So she knows I'm loud and proud about it now. But, you know, on that 5th day, I decided, like when she told me I could earn these bonuses, I was 100% game, because it was like the light at the end of the tunnel for me in order to get out of the situation that I was in. So on that, it was a Friday, I clicked promoter. By Saturday, I earned my VIP 800. And I quickly realized that I didn't have a bank account that was my own, that this other person was on it. So I didn't even have a car, you guys. So I had to walk my 2-year-old down to the grocery store across the street from where we lived to open up a checking account. So that way I could link it to my Payoneer, because my friend's like, Tuesday, you're going to get your first paycheck. And I instantly had anxiety, because I'm like, I can't let this person know I'm making money. So I went and did that. And by that Tuesday, that first check hit. And I was an emotional mess, you know, having that, you know, commission and those bonuses deposited that quickly for someone that had like $0 was life-changing. And I believe so much in what we have here, because, you know, we can help change lives in so many different avenues for people, not just our product alone. And that quickly led to me realizing that I had another few days in my VIP run to hit VIP 1600. So by the 14th day, I ended up hitting VIP 1600 and earning another bonus. And from there, I was like, well, I think I have something here. This is all about duplication. I was feeling better. I wanted to help other people feel better. And I've always been in the field of caring for other people and just having that empathetic heart. So it was kind of like that perfect avenue for me that I just really didn't know how it fell into my life. And so it was right after VIP 1600, I hit 4K within about three and a half weeks. And what back then, I think we got the iPad mini. Well, they gave you a bonus for that. So, and from there, I sat for about 4K for a couple months. And then one random post that I shared, that got shared by somebody else, found this girl, Sarah, and she ended up hopping on board. Actually told me when she ordered she had no interest in sharing it, but 2 weeks after being on Thrive, she ended up promoting, and she was the one that brought me to my 12K. So I think it was about she earned 6,000 in her hit 6,000 her first month. So that was an exciting time, but also a time that I'm like, how am I going to drive this car around? I'm still mind you, still hiding this from, my controlling husband. So, I got away with it. I literally didn't even wait, you guys. Like, I earned my auto bonus on the 31st of the month, and I had that car 2 days later, and I didn't have a car. So it was like, it put that fire in me, because I knew every month I was going to have to continually earn that 12K rank. So, and then there it was. I was 12K, which is a rank that so many people want to achieve, right? But I sat there for 5.5 years, not months, years. And what I quickly realized was, it's all about the mindset. And even though we hop on Zooms, or a lot back then was a lot of calls, we go to our conference meetings, we do all these things, but I wasn't implementing anything. I was, writing out what I wanted to do or what my goals were. But at the same time, I was trying to get out of my living situation. And quickly after that auto bonus, on a very scary, traumatic night, I was able to walk away and never look back and rebuild my life. And, thanks to Lavelle, I didn't have to find a job, because I had saved up all this money. So when I did have to leave, I could take care of her, my daughter. And, when you're in those situations, it's like, you just have to be strong enough to get through them. But I will forever be grateful for, the opportunity that pretty much saved my life. So I had given myself, like a year to rebuild my life, and I hit everything I found I had in my new place, and still was earning my auto bonus. So I wasn't having to worry about a car while I was doing all this. And, but for 5.5 years, I sat at 12K. We were red-legged around like 2017, 2018, which is obviously a good problem to have. But it was the mindset of seeing myself grow to the next level that I could not get through. Like, I was beaten down so much mentally that I had to overcome and heal from that in order to realize that I was worth, being a leader. I was worth rising to that next level. And so I was a part of all the rank advancements, right? Like from 2019, and I actually missed 40K by 3,000 that bonus. So I didn't hit it in 2019. So when they launched in January of this year, I literally like checked myself like in the mirror. Because a lot of us want to rank, but I literally told myself, I'm like, do you deserve a $40,000 bonus? Like, are you working as a 40K? Are you working as an 80K? Are you working as a 200K? Like, what are you doing? Because everybody wants to complain about things. We all know the ugly part of it. I don't have an upline. I don't have a supportive team. Nobody hops on my team Zooms. Like, we've all been there. But what I realized was it was me that I needed to make the change. And I looked myself in the mirror, January 20 this year, and I was like, you're gonna freaking hit this. You're gonna do the work that you need to hit this. And we ended last year, so December 2020 at 26,000. And with a couple hours shy of January, we ended up ending at 41,000. And we hit that 40K rank. Now, I'll tell you what, like, the last 2 days of January this month, it was a Friday and we had until Sunday to hit. We were 10,000 away from hitting. And I still woke up believing that no matter what, by January 31st, like, we were going to be a 40K team. So I went to my mom's, pretty much handed over my child, and I sat in the spare room and I was on the phone all day, didn't even change, didn't eat, nothing until that bonus was met. And I didn't have any waiting room. I didn't have any, oh, here, this is for you. Like, this is, it's, I had the support of my uplines, but I knew it was me that I needed to push myself to see that I could achieve that. And, we ended up hitting, and that was just like a moment of like, okay, well, let's, now that I know I could do this, like, well, I want to see 80 happen, because we have until April until these bonuses are over. And one of my friends that had been on my chicken list for 5 years that I was always terrified to reach out to, she was one of those people that ordered in January, and I finally got her to experience Thrive for herself. And she owns an online boutique. So February, she didn't even take the product right. Still wasn't feeling it. Wasn't until mid-March. She almost took 45 days to feel Thrive in her body. And so it wasn't even until mid-March that she finally was like, oh, okay, I'm actually starting to feel good. And you know what, all of us, like, when you have your chicken list person, like, you want them to like feel it, you're excited for them, and it literally was all about patience, like 45 days waiting on this person to actually feel their experience and checking in with them. And so the first week of April, it was April 7th, she ended up clicking promoter because she wanted to share this with her community of women that she had built with her boutique. And you guys, like, that blew up. Like, if it wasn't for my uplines helping me with that amount of people, she hit her 40,000 rank in April. So less than in 3 weeks did 40,000 and brought our team up to 80. And it was just like 17-hour days. I mean, we were nonstop putting orders in, helping answer questions, and, putting ourselves out there in the material and everything. And so by April, we became an 80K team just like that, and actually ended April at 108,000 in sales. So it's been a long journey, but like a lot of the times, like, I wanted to give up, seeing people start the same time as I did, and, hitting millionaire. I mean, it was like crazy that, you see these people come in and have these amazing success stories, but it's not like everybody's journey is different. And you have to know, like, what you're going through now is for somebody else. Like, I always knew that, maybe it took me 5.5 years because that was going to help inspire somebody else that's struggling with even maintaining 4K, but now it's the fact of getting to 80 and then seeing 200K. Like, once I saw that on my VIP tracker, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I've never seen, 200K like there, so it's just exciting. And, wanting to do more, and just in realizing how impactful, everybody, our stories are to help other people. That's really what this is all about. So I don't know what else you want me to say, Lisa. Sorry.
I am so blown away. Like, there's so many people that, like, they give up because they feel like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. I'm never going to get there. You know what I mean? And they start looking left and right, or they start thinking maybe Lavelle's not the place for me, or maybe I'm just not good at network marketing. And the fact that your story just reinforces what I'm always telling my team is, if you don't give up, you will always run into the right person. You will always, if you are doing the work and putting in the time and staying consistent and, believing and growing. I mean, that's the biggest thing I think about your personal story, is the personal growth that had to happen, getting out of your own way, knowing that you are worth it, and that you could do it, and I know what that's totally like, being in a relationship with somebody that beats you down so that you don't believe those things about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so, like, this, you being on today, there are no small coincidences, and you being on today sharing your story is going to resonate with so many people, because there are people that just think maybe it's never going to happen for me. And I'm telling you, your story will be Rochelle's. Like, it will be, if you
Yeah.
just don't give up. And you found your person that's been on your chicken list for like ever.
Well, and you're told all these things, and but you have to truly believe it and like do the work for yourself. Like we just want to grab somebody, right, that's going to help grow our volume, but you have to like put in the work for it, and I kept stopping myself. I had these personal roadblocks, but I had to heal from that trauma, and that's just, everybody has different things that are stopping them. But at the same time, I was so grateful for 12K, because there's so many people that want that rank, right? Like, I have so many girls right now listening on my team that haven't hit 12K yet. So how could I be upset at sitting at 12K for 5.5 years? Because that was a blessing. Like, with our comp plan, like, I mean, for them to do that, and I've never missed, since, like, that's just, that was a big deal, so I wasn't going to be ungrateful for that. But at the same time, like, you have to have that desire, and you have to decide, like, it's up to you to get you to where you want to be. No one else is going to wake you up and make you do your self-development, make you check yourself. And so it's, even some days when I exhausted myself and I've just done so much, I still end the day like, well, what could I do more? It's just the mentality that you have to have. And I kept hearing it from, and I associated with everyone. I mean, I just naturally, like, I'm going to be Lisa's friend. Like, I mean, we had lunch with Chas and out here, what was it, Gilbert or Chandler area. And like, I just wanted to be around people that were doing better, because I knew I could get there. It didn't matter that I was like a 12K or whatever, but you have to like find those people that are going to influence you and just not give up. No matter what, you're going to run into it, as long as you're doing the work and being consistent. I mean, no matter all the life that I went through, and still all the drama that I have on a day-to-day basis, like, I was always consistent, never like didn't show up, because that's the worst thing that you can do is, throw Thrive out there, say that you love Thrive, this and that, and then go MIA, for 2 months. So, that, if anything, the consistency is such a big deal. And it's little things, like, I didn't even know, like, once, stories became a thing, like showing up in my stories. And of course I love watching too, and Angela Bebe, shout out. Like, no lie, like, seeing that consistency, like, through other people, like, you have to do the same, if you want to like grow into that, like, you have to, you gotta do the work. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just accepting that responsibility. And if this is what you want, it's going to happen for you.
Right. And what's so crazy is you are who you kind of portray yourself to be. I honestly swear to God, Rochelle, I did not know all of this about your story. I thought you were a 200K. I did. Because you just, you show up and you insert yourself around successful people. And I just, that's what the beauty of, like, you have to seek out that success. You can't hide from it. You have to seek it out and surround yourself. That saying, you're most like the 5 people you surround yourself with. If you want to be successful, you've got to get in, other people's, years and their thoughts and what are they thinking and what are they doing and
Mhm.
and then applying it to your business. So I mean, you've been in, man, you were in when Lavelle barely had any products.
Yeah. I mean, we only had vanilla. Like, I was so happy when like chocolate came out. I'm like, woo, different lifestyle flavor, right? But yeah, 7 years will be this December. And I remember my first conference in 2015, listening to Paul and Jason. That was my first time going to Dallas for that. And I remember Paul saying, you know, if you commit, you know, 5 to 10 years to make this your retirement plan, like it's going to happen, you know. And I left there 100% believing that. Even at 26 years old, I'm like, okay, 10 years, I mean, that's success right there, you know, because I wasn't
And
going to
it's
find that at my
happening
desk.
too. Because
Yeah,
I
it
always
was.
tell my team, be on that 5 to 7 year plan. And literally
Yes.
into your seventh year, you are starting to see this huge success. And is it worth it? Like, it's,
Yeah.
would it be any less worth it whether it happened right out of the gate or in 7 years? Like, you are going to make more money than most people make working, 40, 50 hours a week at a job that don't owe
Mm-hmm.
their time. And you're only what, 30, like
33.
33 years old. Like, you can retire. You know what I mean? It's like a crazy, it's so worth it. And people don't think about that. They want things right now. And we live in a microwave society where if people don't get
Yeah.
things now, they give up. And it's just so sad because they will all have a success story if they just keep going. So 7 years is a long time. And I know you had to fight through a lot of things personally,
Mm-hmm.
during that 7 years, because I know exactly what it's like to have somebody that you're connected
Jesus,
to.
take the wheel.
Yes, that you just cannot get rid of for one reason or another, that are always putting not only your business, but your personal life is putting roadblocks in your way too. But business wise, what are some things that you feel like, you've seen or had to overcome? I mean, just besides the whole not wanting to give up because you weren't growing fast enough.
I mean, the biggest thing is just seeing yourself at that success level. I think a lot of us, like, you know, we'll write down on our vision boards or we'll write down a list of like what we want, but do you actually see yourself achieving that? Like, what would that feel like? And, you know, for this month with my team, like I made my vision board, like a team vision board, because I'm like, what does 4K even feel like? You know, for some people, that's their light bill, that's their phone bill, you know, like that's something that they desperately need to hit. So I wanted to feel that for them because I remember how that felt. And, you know, business, you just have to show up and be who you want. Like a lot of people worry about not having the leader that's them, you know, and or they don't have that person. Well, like you have to be that person. And I surrounded myself with all of you. And I remember when my new girl, the boutique girl, came on, I called Chas and I was like, I don't know how to handle somebody that has this big of a network. Like, can you give me some pointers? Like, I wasn't going to be scared to put myself out there because I hear other people like, well, I can't message too. I can't message Lisa. Well, why not? Like, they're here to help, you know, just because they have bigger networks, like, doesn't mean like I was always going to say, hey, like, if you guys are going to be in the area, like, I want to show up. So I was always putting myself into those things. And of course, once we had a lot more locals, you know, going on before this pandemic, but I was always showing up no matter what, surrounding myself with those people. So if you're kind of hiding and you don't feel like so and so would help you, like don't be scared to reach out, because I know for me, even at where I am, like I want that person. I don't care where sideline, downline, whatever. Like we're all one team, one dream, you know, get people on Thrive. And if my story can impact somebody else, like I'd be more happy to help that next person get there. And that's really what this is all about. And you know, you're only going to get better, like being a part of helping other people grow. And so I'm always so appreciative of, you know, the people like you that, I mean, we're not on the same organization, but no matter what, I knew I could reach out and say, hey, like, can you help me with this? You know, so that's a huge part of it, especially with your everything, your mindset being just showing up every single day, no matter what.
There's something huge to say about maintaining. And I don't know if did you ever lose 12K or did you maintain it the whole 7 years?
No, I maintained 12K.
That there is something huge. That is hard. That's hard to do. That means that you personally, and I want you guys to hear this very closely because Rochelle personally had to be on her game all the time to maintain that rank. That okay, so the rank of 12K is a hard rank to maintain because you have to be on doing the do all the time. You can't count on the people underneath of you because people come and go so quickly, right? They
Mhm.
give up so quick. I mean, I'm sure you saw a lot of people over the
No,
last 7 years come and
nobody's
go like
here.
crazy.
Everybody
Yeah,
that signed
you
up at the
had
beginning is
to.
not here now.
Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy because I don't think people understand how that means that you showed up all the time and you kept, you know, because of your consistency, you were able to maintain that rank. Let's just be honest, when you're an 80K, 200K, and you've got like a bigger team underneath you, it's a little bit easier to maintain a rank because you have other people really running and working. But at
Mhm.
12K, it is it's a hard road, and for you to do that just shows your consistency and that's what I want to hear about right now. I want to hear, what did you do personally? Like, what are your daily IPAs? Like, what are things that you do to recruit, and like your best tips for people that are sitting at like 4K and 12K and want to be able to maintain that?
Well, I think the biggest thing I realized was it wasn't about me. Whether I seen someone sharing something on social media or it was the mom at the grocery store, like desperate for, something with her crying toddler. Like a lot of the times people will be like, well, I'm scared to like reach out to them. What are they going to think about me? It's not about you. Like it's honestly not about you. Like, so once you take yourself out of the equation and think about how could this help this person, like being of service to them, that is what you need to like retrain your brain. Because in the beginning it's always like, oh, I think so and so was interested, oh, this person might not be interested, like, we want to prejudge. But my friend didn't judge me. I mean, she thought I looked perfectly happy on Facebook when I was literally mentally, emotionally, physically, like being abused. Nobody knew that. So, I'm so grateful for her even thinking about me and just calling me up one day and say, hey, this is something that's going to help you feel better. Like, check this out. Like it wasn't a pushy thing at all. And the way that you present it is going, like, if you're worried about someone thinking you're salesy or whatever, it's the way that you're portraying like yourself. So if you're coming from a genuine place and in helping that person, it's not going to come off like that. So every single day, it's like, I'm not scared to reach out to that next person. I'm working out at a new gym. I spoke to the gym owner yesterday. I'm like, hey, this could be a benefit for a lot of people that are here. Let's talk business. I'm not scared to walk up to the person at the grocery store that mom that's having a hard time. Now, mind you, like in the beginning, I was terrified. I didn't have that confidence back then. But we all have people that might, you can borrow that confidence from other people. It was listening to other people share how they shared their story in order for me to gain confidence in how to have that 30-second combo on the elevator, and and never leaving without that connection no matter what. I mean, I waited 5 years. I planted that seed with Danielle 5 years, and it sprouted when it needed to sprout. Because if I would have earned 40K, 80K back, 1 year, 2 year in, I wouldn't have valued it the way that I do now, because I sat at that 12K rank until I had to push myself to be better. Does that make sense? Like I didn't deserve it back then so every single day you want to be, obviously I refer to, I mean, we hear this all the time, like get your customers their referrals, supply those samples. Like I never did that before. I never offered help off or credits off. I always used them for myself. It was a selfish thing to do when here I hear all these leaders like, no, I use my credits to help other people. Well, I started doing that. I mean, I would pay for my Thrive every single month. Why am I using my credits for myself? So one of my girls on our team, she just hit her 4K last month, and she's a part of a a youth athletic camp, and she's like, we really need to get thirst into these bodies, these boys out here running on 110 degrees outside. So I'm like, here's 3 boxes of thirst. Like, I'm using these credits to supply you, to build you, you know. So when you have those people that are working and wanting it for, you know, underneath you, give in to them. You know, if they're showing up, will you show up? And you know, don't be selfish with that. Like, I know, you know, thinking back when, you know, being at 12K, I mean, it was an income that, you know, if done right, like, you can well, you know, live off of. But I was still struggling at a place where I needed those credits for me. But now it's like, I'm not selfishly doing that anymore. I'm investing in my business and seeing it in a whole different perspective, because this is my career. You know, people I think are scared to like say that about network marketing. They're like, that's not a career. Yeah, it is. You know, and my better half now of 3 years, he never understood. Like, he's been a cop for 22 years. He never understood, like, how are you making money from your phone? Like, it wasn't until, you know, I made double what he made in a month that he understood, like, okay, babe, like, I see you, you know, this is your job. This is your career. I take it seriously. And I put in work every single day. You know, you get to a place where you can manage your own time. And that's the biggest thing, time management, that people run into. You know, having the time freedom now, I think we can get so sidetracked with being busy, right? But you still got to walk in and clock into work every day. And even if you are if you're working now a full-time job, I was putting in time on my lunch breaks, you know, after work, after my daughter went to sleep, like, plugging into every Zoom that I could do. And if you go MIA on being on certain calls and stuff, then that's just going to put you farther and farther behind. What was it like? What did I hear? I can't remember who said it, but it's like, if you take like a day's work off, it's like you're taking a year off, you know, in network marketing, because you're just giving up on all, you know, all that you've put that work into it. And it's not going to be that first time you talk to somebody. It might be the 7th, it might be the 10th, you know, but just have those good intentions for them. That way they know that you're coming from a genuine place, and they're going to want to do that when they start sharing it too. That was one thing I understood very quickly, was, how am I sharing this with other people? Because that's going to be duplicated throughout, you know, my organization. So it's just showing up, Lisa, like, no matter what, like, we all got life, right? But even during like my 9-month divorce, no one on my team knew that I was going through divorce. Half of them didn't even know I went through it, because I wasn't putting that negative energy out there. You know, like, I was continuing to grow no matter what, because I knew that this, like, God put this in my life for a reason. Like, he didn't put it in my life for me to fail. And I trusted that, and I trusted, you know, everything that I had seen, you know, between like Paul and Jason and everything. Like, I seen that as a vision. And so get really good at what you want. Like, what is it going to feel like for you to hit 12K? You know, go down and sit in that car. Like, all those little things that you hear other leaders say, like, go do, because it will completely change the mindset. It's going to have that shift. And it was almost like in January, like, when I checked myself in the mirror, that it was like a light switch went off, like what just turned on. And I finally hit that mindset that had been working on for so long.
Yeah, and it's like, there's no magic. Like, you know, everybody's looking for the magic tip, or, you know, what the one thing is. And really, it's just the consistency every day of showing up. And if you don't, you're right. I always tell people, if you take more than, like, you know, life can happen. We get that. But I mean, how hard is it, even through the worst of times, to pick up your phone quick and make a quick post, or send one message? I mean, even if you can do the bare minimum, just still doing something, you know what I mean? Not getting so sidetracked with everything else, because it is like, taking a couple days off of this business is like, is starting over, you know?
Well, and
So that's what I always tell people. Like, your 5 to 7 years probably started over how many times now?
yeah, well, and if my friend didn't just pick up the phone and call me, like, it could have been a life or death situation, you know. But that's why showing up every day, like, you might not want to make a post because you're not going to get, you know, 10 likes or whatever, but that post might be for that person that's just going to view, that's only going to be one person that's going to view your thing today. That's going to be for them, you know. And again, taking yourself out of that equation, like, yeah, life happens, but Thrive helps. You know, it got me through the worst of times, kept me at that positive mindset that I needed in order to get through the very challenging times. And you know how challenging that type of person is. And to this day, I'm harassed weekly and no one's going to know it. I ain't even giving you that much energy to like stoop to that level. Like, I've rised above, I've taken the high road, and I've been blessed through that. And so I'm just going to be the best Rochelle that I can be, and be the best mom I can be, and the best person out there to be that positive light, because that's what the world needs. And Thrive is, it's just a lifeline. It truly has been. And it's just being that, showing up every single day, no matter what. We all have reasons to where we don't want to show up, but we still do. And wake up and win. Like, that's what you need to do every day.
Right. Absolutely. So new promoters, like, I mean, when you did, what advice did, like when you talked to Chas and just in general, like when you brought on that new girl, like what are some things that you did with somebody new to help them, you know, through the process? I know like one of the things for me is really pushing third party credibility. Like, let
Mm-hmm.
me help you do this work. You know, you're not alone. You're in business for yourself, but in network marketing, you are never in business by yourself. If you feel
Yeah.
by yourself and you're on this Zoom, that's your choice, because you don't need to know how to do this when you start. You just need to know how to be excited and then plug people into your upline. How important do you think, like, what are some things that you think are super important when you do sign somebody new to help them get the ball rolling?
Well, really set the expectation, letting them know this is something, like, if you're ready for it, like, I want to help you show up and help you coach you. I just had one of my customers, we just talked yesterday. She's ready to switch. She's brought in like 4 or 5 referrals, and I didn't bring up the opportunity. I was letting her choose that on her own, but I really had a conversation with her. I'm like, are you willing to invest the extra time to plug in and to be a part of our team calls and to be coachable, not just signing someone up for that quick, oh, I need a new promoter, like, you got to get out of like the I need mentality and be like, what is this going to do for you? So I asked her, I'm like, well, what would this opportunity do for your family? Is this going to be cash for, Christmas, or is it going to be that paid vacation, family vacation that you guys haven't been able to have? Like, just really trying to plug into what this would do for her and setting the tone, because I don't want someone walking in that when I'm following up and I'm sending a message in the morning and trying to help work for them, that I don't get a response 3 days later. Like, we've all had those people, right? That we're more excited about them signing up than themselves. But I think you really have to set the tone to showing them, like, this is something I take seriously. I want to help you grow. I want to help you help other people, and understand, just having that conversation first, because I never had that really before, and letting them know, like, this is really about duplication and really plugging in. We have a great support system, a great community. That's one thing, with Thrive, our without fail, there's so many amazing people in our company. So, getting them plugged in to hearing somebody else's story and their success, and because they have to relate, they have to see themselves, doing it. And we can give you all the resources, but we can't make you resourceful. So even if I share something now, saying like this Zoom, I share your Zoom every single Tuesday with my team. I can't force you to get on it. I can't force you to watch the recording, like, but I'm going to provide, what you need in order for you to continue to plug in. So I just really setting that tone with them and mapping it out as simple as you can. Like, don't go too far in. Like, I'm not going to talk auto bonus with her when we haven't even talked to VIP 800, right? She already knows I have a car, like, but I'm not going to, don't stretch it too far, because people, they're not there yet. You got to go back down to when you were a brand promoter. Like, how did you feel? And my friend literally just told me, like, get 4 people. It was simple. It wasn't complex. And I remember before I would just like kind of like dump all this stuff on it, and that would kind of make people feel like insecure, like, I don't know how to do this. So just really pump them with confidence and supply that team feel to where they know that they're not they're not alone in this. And that's one thing for sure. Like along my whole way, I've always had people, because I chose to reach out. It was a decision that I made. It wasn't like people were going to come to me. Like you weren't going to be just like, oh, I wonder how Rochelle's doing today. Like I came to you and say, hey, I need you on a call. So that's a huge thing. It's just using the support that we have here. It's all around us.
Yeah, it is. And like, it's just like dragging somebody to put me in a three-way message. I'm like, why are you struggling on your own? Or why is it, I've been trying to close somebody for 3 years. You've never once tried putting him in a message with me. So you really haven't tried to close them. You're like exhausting all your possibilities. And that's kind of what you have to do. So as far as like growing your network, obviously being in this 7 years, it sounds like you do a lot of belly to belly, like you're not scared to talk to people in person, which is a lot of things. I think it's one of the biggest things a lot of people have to overcome is
Yeah.
that fear of, I don't know what to say, or I just don't like to talk. They're kind of hiding behind the computer, but we are naive to say that social media is the future. Like we do have to utilize it. Do you do Instagram? Like, are you doing all the things?
I do Instagram. I've gained a lot more leads in Instagram, but when I lived in Vegas last year, I grew a whole Vegas team out there through Facebook groups, which I learned from you about getting into those 5 brand bubbles and really implementing that stuff. Like I probably listened to that Zoom or recording like probably 6 or 7 times because I needed to understand like how to, it's all about building those relationships, and I met amazing, moms out there. I literally friended, it was Moms of Henderson, Henderson, Nevada, and then like Lake Las Vegas community where we were living. Like, so I just friended those and I started to get involved, sending, reviews at the restaurant or, hey moms, you have a good place for, what are you guys doing during COVID? Like to have fun with your kids, like just, getting out there and just seeing other people and how they respond and then connecting them. And then even on Instagram, the 321, I've been following people with certain hashtags, the same things I follow. And I just been in conversation with a mom of 9. I'm like, Lord help you. You were in my prayers. 7 girls and 2 boys. So we all know she needs Thrive, right? So I've just been building that relationship with her and complimenting her family and, really showing up in stories and learning like, how can you maximize social media? Because it's changing all the time. Like I literally had to reset my Instagram because I was having like no views on my stories. Well, come to find out, like I had to get off of that for a whole 24 hours in order to reset my views. So I didn't know that was a thing until I experienced it. But every single day networking and building within, because Facebook groups are great. I'm starting a walking group in my neighborhood now with other moms. And all I did was, hey, any mamas out there interested in doing a walking group? Like I'm trying to stay active and, with my daughter and thought it would be fun. And I've already had 4 women already want to join. I've had nothing about Thrive, so it's just really putting yourself out there. And it is something you have to overcome. But I have that mentality where it's not about me. It's not about that. I'm not going to be worried about what they think about the patch on my arm, whether it comes up in conversation or not. I mean, I know what Thrive's done for me. It's changed my whole life, but now more than anything, like I want to help that next person that is struggling because we have a solution and we're doing a disservice if we are not sharing this. So getting out of your comfort zone, if you're wanting to grow your business, you're going to have to do things that you're not going to want to do. And, worst case scenario, you're talking to somebody at the store and they say no. Okay, move on. Like, don't get butt hurt. I take it like literally like I'm asking, if you want a piece of my gum and you tell me no, am I going to get butt hurt? No, I'm going to move on to the next person. So that's the biggest thing is, because I've had to grow my network. You get out of that warm market, but there's so many people like, and even the people that don't want to thrive with me, what I did in January was I was asking those people, I'm like, okay, if you're not interested in thriving, like, well, who do you know? So I was building through their network. And that's how I found some of my newest 4Ks was reaching out through other people's networks, say, hey, I know you know someone that's tired and exhausted or looking to feel better or look better. So can you connect me with them? And sure enough, I had new people just by asking them, who do they know?
Yeah, I've built quite a bit of my business through referrals too. I think people forget about that. Like, yeah, maybe you have somebody that might not want what you have, but people like to help other people, like most people
Yeah.
do. So they're like quick to recommend, oh, well, I'm all good, but you know, my friend so and so. And sometimes your next rock star could be through somebody you know. You like
Mm-hmm.
you just don't know if you're not willing to exhaust all avenues of recruiting. Like there's referrals, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's out and about, there's TikTok, there's like there's so many different avenues to do it. There's expos and events. There's tons. And when people come to me and say, "Well, I've done everything. I'm doing everything." No, you're not.
Oh,
I'm not. You're not. We're not.
yeah.
It's just like, okay, now you got to make yourself do this. What do you feel like self-development wise are some of the biggest things that you recommend other people do um, to kind of get their minds in the right space? Because I will go to the grave saying this and meaning it. This business is 99% mindset.
100%. Yeah. And I had to learn that the hard way. Um, and I mean, if you're struggling with, time management, or if you're struggling with, confidence or knowing what to say, there's a million things available to you. Whether it's just, if you don't have the money to go buy a book, then watch a YouTube, every single day. Like, and make sure it's the first thing in the morning, because if once you're starting your day out that way, it's so much better than trying to like get yourself to like read like at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, we'll find more excuses to not make that happen. I found that like actually holding a book and reading it is a lot more better for me than listening to an audio, because I could listen to audios and not really retain it unless I'm, reading it. So it's just that you got to find what way works best for you, but implementing self-developmental like stuff daily, no matter what. There's so many podcasts and things that will really lift your spirit and have that fulfillment, because it truly is a mindset. You can Google or YouTube inspirational videos, like whatever. It's so simple. Like, everything is available to you. You just have to use it. And I was always one to like hear people say like, read this book or Think and Grow Rich, what Paul Gravet's always throwing that book out there, right? And I would like start the audio and then like would never finish it. So it wasn't until I started actually implementing those things and making it a priority. Like, mindset discipline is hard. And a lot of people think like once you get to 40K or 12K or 80K, whatever, like it's easier, and it's really not. Like, you have to show up 10 times more than you did at 4K. Because you're wanting to implement that. You want that duplicated throughout your team. Like, I'm not going to ever tell my team, hey, go do this, if I'm not doing it. So it doesn't get easier per se. Like, you have a different mindset where like you need to show up more. And that's the biggest thing, is just continuing to put that self-developmental first, because it's going to push you so much farther in your business than like, I don't think people understand how important that is. But if I didn't have the mindset I do now, like, I wouldn't be able to handle, all of it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
100%. Like there's just no way that yeah, I know you, me, and most of the leaders that are 200Ks and plus that are, growing and I just wouldn't be here. There's just
Mm-hmm.
no possible way because you can't stay stuck in that same thought process if you want to succeed. There's just
Yeah.
no way, especially when you grow up your whole life with, external forces telling you the word no and that you can't and that, that's not possible. And without a college degree and without,
Yeah.
we've been ingrained to believe all of these crazy lies and it holds us back. And so getting into a business like this, you have to completely reprogram yourself, like to know that those things are total lies. It's what you want and put out there that's like the most important thing. We are coming up on the top of the hour. My last question for you is if you had one or two things to end with, tips that like for that person, maybe uh, specifically for that person that feels totally stuck, kind of, like you felt at points in your business where maybe this is never going to happen for me, or I don't know how to push forward, or I don't know how to get out of this funk. What would those tips be?
Just believe in yourself. There's no one's going to come to you and do this for you. And I realized that if I wanted to create the life that I wanted, it was going to be up to me to do that. But I 100% believed without a doubt that this was going to be the vehicle to get me there. So if you have any doubts that maybe this isn't the right avenue or whatever for you, like, you completely need to erase that and just get excited about what gets you excited. Having that new person text you and be like, oh my gosh, I am 100% loving how I'm feeling today. Like, what gets you up in the morning and excited? Because no one else can do that for you. And I knew that I wanted a life of time freedom, and I knew that I wanted to be able to not miss school events, or be able to be the homeschool or the home classroom mom, or not have to ask for a damn vacation. Like, we traveled more this summer than we have in 3 years. Like, I would have never been able to just take a month off of work, but yeah, granted, it took me, let's see, I left corporate America and jumped full force in 2018. So even as a 12K, I like trusted that this was going to continue to go for me. And, it's just about believing that you can do it. There's no magic anything, you'll hear it over and over again. And I probably heard what I'm telling to you right now 500 times, with 6.5 years of being a part of everything. I've always shown up. I've always knew that this was the right way. It was just that mindset of believing that I deserved it, because yeah, through my trauma, like, I'm the black sheep of my family. Everyone thinks I'm crazy that I'm looking at $1.2 million houses. I'm 36, 33 years old trying to buy a home. Like, I bought this car, brand new. My family was like, well, how did you do that? They don't even understand. Like, I'm not surrounded by my family, close family and friends that ever had the mindset I did. So it wasn't until I surrounded myself with people that did, that I was dreaming bigger, that I believed it even more. And, just knew that wasn't going to happen unless I made those changes, unless I showed up every single day. And I wasn't going to let anything stop me. Like, it just, and even now, like, you get to that next level and you're like, okay, well, now that happened, like, where are we going from now? You see so much. It's like you get to expand the vision that you have. So there's so much opportunity here. Just don't leave it on the table. Like, I mean, we're only 9 years in, and like, there's so much more than this. That's the crazy part, is being a part of an early on with Lavelle and seeing all of the success, and having that, I'm proud and I'm thankful to have my name here. So, and I know you are too, but I don't think people wrap their head around like what has been given to us. And I just finished Jason Camper's book. So if you have not read that, oh my gosh, please do, because to see all that he struggled with in his history, and then to be where, he is now, like, wow, what an inspiring book. And everything that it takes for Lavelle to be here, man, whole new perspective, 100%.
Yeah, it is. And the one thing you just said about, like, when you get to that level, it opens up the next one. Like, it opens up your mind to the possibility of the next one. You don't come in and you can't picture 200K the second you sign. You can
Yeah.
barely picture 12. You're like, oh my God. And it's so crazy, because each level you get to, you realize, okay, I can get to, like, the impossible now seems possible, and it's just one step at a time. Oh my gosh, Rochelle, thank you so much for getting on
Thank
today
you.
and sharing your story. And I can't even tell you 1000% how many people needed to hear your story today. Like, no doubt. I already know I'm going to be getting a lot of messages. Where's the replay? I need it for my team.
Thank you.
And we will, you guys, we're recording. We'll get it out to you. I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day and sharing with us. And I hope all of you guys that are on today really took these golden nuggets and just the inspiration of knowing that if you keep going and stay consistent and stick with it, you are heading in the right direction. Promise you that. Thank you so
100%.
much for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Happy
Ernie.
Tuesday. Happy payday. Auto bonus day. So excited.
Yes, happy. We just got paid a minute ago, guys.
Oh,
So
yep,
go
you're
enjoy
right.
those checks. Be grateful. Don't forget about your payday post,
And
especially
do
in your
something.
stories.
Yeah. And do something for somebody else, share, because just don't take that for granted, like we are a blessing. It's a blessing to be a blessing to somebody else. So reach out to somebody that you
Amen.
haven't talked to and just change your life. That's what we're blessed to do every single day. And I 100% wake up in gratitude. So thank you so much, Lisa. Hopefully I'll be seeing you soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to.
100%.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a good Tuesday. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, same link. Plug your teams in, and happy Tuesday, happy payday. Enjoy today. Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.